Boney M. Were they the biggest hoax in the musical world? Or just a group that enchanted generations with their infectious music and unique visuals? The truth behind this iconic band, where almost none of its members actually sang on stage, is a truly intriguing story full of twists. The Nostalgic Culture Channel brings you the incredible story of Boney M. In 1975, a visionary producer named Frank Farian saw a unique opportunity to create an exotic and bold counterpart to the music scene. He assembled two Caribbean singers, a model, and a DJ named Bobby Farrell. However, there was a crucial detail. Farrell lacked vocal skills. That's when the visionary producer, Frank Farian, taking on the role of the lead in recordings, decided not only to produce the band but also to lend his voice to the group. The result of this scheme couldn't have been more impactful. The group was then named Boney M and instantly captured the world with hits like Ma Baker, Belfast, and Rivers of Babylon. However, behind the success and infectious rhythm, tensions arose backstage. Farrell began demanding a place center stage, claiming his right to sing. On the other hand, Farian was reluctant to share the spotlight and the band's revenue. Get ready to delve into the behind-the-scenes story of Boney M, where the characters are as vibrant as the songs they brought to the world. Franz Roeder, a young man born on July 18, 1941 in the quiet German town of Kaiserslautern, didn't initially look like a musician. A guitar fell into his hands when he was 12, but over the years, he found himself behind restaurant counters as a cook. However, Elvis Presley's musical revolution triggered an earthquake in his life. From the moment Presley's notes invaded his ears, everything changed for him. Determined to unravel the secrets of rock and roll, Franz invested every penny he had in instruments and equipment to play. He transformed into someone else, adopting the name Frank Farian to mark his new identity. Frank's voice reached a level that allowed him to create respectable covers of African American songs, which he sang in local clubs frequented by U.S. soldiers. It was as if his voice was a balm for the homesickness these soldiers felt for their distant homes. Record labels, however, seemed to close their doors to him, suggesting he return to German music. So, in the twilight of the 1960s, Frank signed a solo contract, paving the way as a pop singer. He debuted brilliantly on the stage of the German entertainment show Hit Parade, and even had a considerable success with Rocky. But, like many artists, Frank longed for more. Frank Farian was about to embark on creating one of the most memorable and revolutionary groups in the history of music when he decided to experiment with a new style of Eurodisco that was taking over clubs around the world. He recorded an experimental song, Baby, Do You Wanna Bump?
Do you wanna bump?
The song was captivating in its simplicity, with the incessant repetition of the title phrase. The female vocals were magical and skillfully performed by himself in a unique falsetto. Fearing that the boldness of repeating a phrase for several minutes could ruin his career, he released the song under a pseudonym taken from an Australian detective series. Believe it or not, inspiration struck when he was watching television and came across the name Boner in an Australian police series. Boney M. Nice name, I thought. Boney M. Nice sound. Just like that, he said. One day, the melody quickly became a hit in the Netherlands and Belgium, and the audience clamored for more. And so, another brilliant idea was born. He gathered two Caribbean singers, a model, and a DJ named Bobby Farrell. The captivating female voices accompanied Frank's male voice, which, although not credited as a backing singer, was a crucial part of the group's distinctive sound. However, there was a member whose magnetic presence was impossible to ignore, Bobby Farrell. With a strong stage presence and incredible dance moves, Bob was the center of attention. Bobby's charisma was the missing piece that turned Boney M into a phenomenon. The journey began with the release of the album Take the Heat Off Me. However, behind the scenes, Not everything was as peaceful as it seemed. Always seeking excellence, Frank made a bold decision. He chose only the voices of Liz Mitchell and Marcia Barrett to be used, considering them the most distinctive. He then created the male and female falsetto voices intended to be dubbed by Bobby and Maisie Williams. Surprisingly, Bobby never sang a real note in any of the recordings. Although the start was not stellar, the band faced a variety of stages, from discos to rural fairs, hoping to always attract attention and stand out. However, a significant moment was about to happen. Boney M's debut on German television in 1976 on a show called Music Laden. The song chosen for them to perform on the show was none other than the great hit Daddy Cool.
Crazy about her daddy. Oh, she believes in him.
This moment would mark a turning point for the band. After this emblematic performance, something magical happened. Record sales, previously in modest numbers, turned into a steady flow of 100,000 units per week. And as the first album was released, it was eagerly consumed, comparable to an oasis of fresh water in the scorching heat. The year 1977 saw the release of the album Love for Sale, featuring hits like Ma Baker and Belfast. Embarking on their first live tours, accompanied by the band The Black Beauty Circus, Boney M was solidifying their place in the hearts of fans. Love for Sale received gold certification in the UK, while its singles topped the German charts and reached the top 10 in the UK. Interestingly, in 2009, the captivating melody of Ma Baker was adopted by none other than the iconic Lady Gaga. As the year 1978 unfolded, Boney M reached new heights. The release of the double single Rivers of Babylon and Brown Girl in the Ring created waves of success throughout Europe, taking the top spot in various countries and becoming one of the best-selling singles in the UK. The group's next album brought to light hits like Rasputin and Painter Man. In that year, the band also released other great successes like Oh My Lord, which quickly stood out in the UK. The year 1978 also marked an unusual journey for the group, a highly publicized visit to the Soviet Union. Few Western artists, like Boney M and Elton John, had this opportunity. Although some tracks were censored there due to controversial lyrics, the audience didn't seem to care much at that time, a reaction completely different from what would happen when Farian repeated this practice with the group Milli Vanilli in the 80s, resulting in a notorious scandal. In 1979, the group continued its saga with the release of the new single, Hooray, Hooray, It's a Holy Holiday, another big success to add to their vast repertoire. The group's next album also brought with it the light of major hits, featuring important singles like Gotta Go Home and I'm Born Again. At this point, Boney M was reaching the heights of its popularity, but winds of change were beginning to blow, bringing challenges and transformations for the group. Just as the meteoric rise, challenges were also approaching. The transition to the 80s brought fierce competition and internal challenges. Members began to question the distribution of profits, while the creative flame of the group began to weaken. In 1980, they released a compilation album, The Magic of Boney M, featuring the 20 great hits of the band, a compilation that was quite successful and brought the essence of the group. By then, this album also included 2 new songs, My Friend Jack and I See a Boat on the River.
My friend Jack. On the river,
the album won the hearts of the British public, reaching the top of the charts and receiving the coveted gold certification. It was like a final glow before the next stage. However, challenges soon presented themselves. The creation of the group's fifth album faced prolonged setbacks that stretched throughout the year 1981. Meanwhile, backstage changes were also unfolding. Bobby Farrell, an iconic figure in the group, left Boney M due to conflicts with Frank Farian. The released album still managed to maintain its relevance in continental Europe, but the UK did not show the same enthusiasm due to Farrell's absence, who had become an essential part of the group's identity. Amidst these challenges, Boney M released a Christmas album in 1981, keeping the flame of music alive despite the changes. Reggie Tsibo was brought in as the new male member of the group, but the singles, The Carnival Is Over and Jambo, did not have the expected impact. The release of 10,000 Light Years in 1984 also failed to bring the group back to commercial heights, reaching a modest position on the German charts. However, a glimmer of success occurred with Kalimba de Luna and Happy Song in 1984, marking Bobby Farrell's return. As 1985 unfolded, it became clear that Frank Farian was losing the same interest that once propelled the group. This was reflected in the eighth studio album, I Dance, which received lukewarm responses from critics and fans. After celebrating a decade of musical journey in early 1986, Boney M officially concluded their journey after the release of the single Young, Free, and Single.
Young, free, and single.
Although it did not achieve significant chart numbers, it marked the end of an era full of ups and downs, hits and challenges, leaving behind an undeniable musical legacy. Following Boney M's separation in 1986, Bobby Farrell attempted to reunite Liz Mitchell, Maisie Williams, and a replacement for Marcia Barrett in 1987. However, with absences during rehearsals, Mitchell and Williams recruited other members to help them on the tour. Liz eventually recorded a solo album in 1988, but faced difficulties finding a record label. The original group without Frank Farian released a remix album, but internal tensions also grew during this period. The group released a single without Farian's approval, leading to legal disputes related to the use of the name Boney M. Liz Mitchell, left in 1989, replaced by Madalena Davis. In the early 1990s, there was renewed interest in Boney M's music, with singles like Boney M Megamix and a greatest hits album achieving considerable success on the charts. Marcia faced health issues, while Liz Mitchell led performances worldwide. Different versions of Boney M were formed, some with original members and others without. There were occasional reunions and the group continued to tour and release music. Liz Mitchell signed contracts for solo releases, but also worked on albums and tours with Boney M formations. In 1996, she and her husband founded Dove House Records after her departure from Boney M. Marcia Barrett faced challenges and significant moments in her personal life. In 1990, while recording rock tracks in Monique, she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. This led her to face a recurrence of the disease and interrupt her work. In 1997, she began collaborating with producer Scott Christina on dance tracks, culminating in an album released in 1999. Although some songs were played on radio programs, they were not officially released. She continued her musical journey, releasing her second solo album, Come Into My Life, in 2005. The album included a variety of songs, including covers and original compositions. Additionally, she participated in tours and events with her own version of Boney M, and even declined an invitation to a musical project in 2007. In 2009, Marcia also founded a record label and released remixes of her solo tracks. However, her third solo album had to be suspended due to a new cancer treatment that persisted in returning. Currently, Marcia Barrett resides in Berlin with her husband Marcus James, and remains involved in the music scene. In 2018, she released her biography, sharing personal and professional experiences. As for Maisie Williams, she was a model, dancer, and also a singer, although she never sang on any of Boney M's albums. Today, she is 70 years old and still tours. In December 2006, she released her first solo album and also presented her own version of the song, Sunny. The singer initiated a legal process against Boney M's producer, Frank Farian, and Sony BMG regarding her rights to perform under the name Boney M. In court, it was heard that she had not sung on any of the band's recordings. On February 16, 2009, Williams won the case, and Frank Farian was obligated to be accountable to her for all record sales and future sales. Shortly after the group's end, Farrell began touring with his own group, playing the band's hits under the name Bobby Farrell's Boney M. He also made an appearance as a dancer in late 2005 in the music video for Roger Sanchez's song, Turn on the Music. Farrell spent many years living in Amsterdam, Netherlands. In 1981, he married Jasmina Shaban of Romani and Macedonian origin. The couple had 2 children, however, they separated in 1995. The singer was convicted by a Dutch court for attempting to set his wife on fire after spraying her with gasoline. Bobby Farrell passed away on the morning of December 30, 2010, in a hotel in St. Petersburg, Russia, due to heart failure. His agent, John Sain, reported that Farrell was suffering from respiratory problems after a performance with his band the night before. Farrell's body was found by the hotel staff after he did not respond to an alarm call. Interestingly, he died on the same date and in the same city as Grigory Rasputin, the subject of one of his group's most iconic songs. Farrell even dressed as Rasputin in some live performances. Farrell's daughter, Zanilia Farrell, pursued a career in music as a rapper. In December 2011, she won a prestigious national award in the hip-hop music category. In an interview, she revealed that Frank Farian deprived her father of his rights to Boney M's hits, leading to Farrell's financial decline after the band's separation. She recounted that when her father asked for 100,000 marks from Farian, he was induced to sign some documents that resulted in the loss of all his rights, including image rights and royalties. The family had to resort to limited resources, living on Social Security and with strategies to continue using the name Boney M in certain countries. In conclusion, Boney M's story is marked by a musical journey full of highs and lows, successes and challenges. The group, formed in the 1970s, quickly captured the hearts of fans worldwide with its unique blend of musical styles and captivating performances. Led by producer Frank Farian, Boney M made its mark on the music scene of the time, bringing forth major hits that have stood the test of time. The group's trajectory also involved controversies and internal disputes, from vocal issues to legal battles over the name rights. The 1986 breakup marked the end of a successful era, but the members continued to pursue individual careers, each following their own musical and personal paths. The post-Boney M stories of each member testify to their perseverance and determination to forge their own ways, whether in music, entrepreneurship, or family. As decades passed, the lasting impact of Boney M's songs and style continues to resonate, reminding us of the cultural and musical influence the group had on the industry and in the hearts of their fans. And here, I conclude our video for today, thanking you once again for being with us. I leave you with 2 more videos to enjoy other surprising stories from the music world. See you in the next video. Until then.